Now this time we're going to remember the concepts of domain and range with very simple exercises A and B as you see on the board. Domain is basically what values the input is using, right? The x values that the function is using. On the other hand, range is what values are going to fall on the output as we perform the relation or perform the operations implied in the relation between the input and the output. In basic terms, what values are part of the output, okay? As you can see, we have two different types of functions in here. The one you see in A is a continuous line that goes from this point to this point. The second exercise, which is very simple as well, we just have two different points that that's all. So we are going to determine the domain and the range of each of these two functions, all right? So let's begin with A. We have a continuous line, and now we're going to talk about the domain. The domain is what x values this line is using. Well, so for A, so we have, as you can see, when it's continuous, it's impossible for you to list all the values of x that are within this interval because there are infinite numbers between 1 and 3 in terms of the concept of real numbers. So what we're going to do in terms of continuous segments is we're going to identify the lowest value and the highest value of that interval. As you can see, this point is the lowest value in terms of x values, and this point right here is the highest value of x. What is the lowest value? Corresponds to 1, and the highest one corresponds to 3. So what I'm going to do is, since it is including both of the numbers, I say that the domain is between 1 and 3. That's the domain. How about the range? It means, R. That's the range. Now I'm going to see what y values the function is using. So if I take a look at this, I can notice that the lowest value is 1 and the highest value it reaches is a 2. So same thing here, including both of them. When I mean include, it means that I can use 1 and I am using 2 as well. So as you can see, the lowest value of the range is 1 and the highest value of the range is 2. That's it. Now let's take a look at B, function B. Domain and range. When it's a discrete function, it means just points, just dots. Okay? So in this case, I'm going to analyze one by one. It means that I will have to make a list. In this case, I can make a list. With a continuous one, I couldn't. So in this case, I just have 2 points, which means I will have 2 coordinates of x, 2 coordinates of y, and that's gonna be it, all right? Actually, I'm going to include one more so that we don't have confusions with this, now that I realize that. So I'm just going to include it, and let's say that I include this other point, okay? So the second function includes this, and this point. Let's describe the domain. What x values are we using? Okay, simple. We're using, for this one, 3, for this one, 4, and for this one, 5. I'm going to make a list. 3, 4, and 5. That's it. That's the list of the numbers from the x value that the function is using. What numbers are we using in the range? This one corresponds to 3. This one corresponds to 3. And this one corresponds to 4. Basically, we're just using 3 and 4. Let's say 3. I'm going to say 4 so that you don't confuse it with this. All right? Here I am using a whole interval. All the numbers between 1 and 2. In this case, I'm just using 3 and 4. Okay? That's it. That's all.